Let's loop in Matt Stepp, our Dave Campbell's Texas Football High School Football Insider, joining us on the hotline now. Hey, Stepp.
Wait, you have me on with Craven?
Yeah, man.
I can't compete with this. I'm just call me back a little later, and I just can't compete with Craven.
So you were down in College Station for State 7-on-7. I'm first and foremost, I kind of want to get your overall impressions of what you saw. You know, we kind of go in there with expectations. I found that at least early on, what we expected to happen, and all the teams we expected to be really, really good, a lot of them just didn't, and there were other teams that we just didn't think twice about that ended up really impressing me. Did you feel the same way about that?
Yeah, I mean, like Mike was saying, Lake Travis, we thought they'd be really good, and I thought Nate Yarnell was outstanding. And Lake Travis is going to be fine. If Hudson Card got hurt, he'd be fine, and they'll be fine next year when he's gone. Yarnell is just another in that line of quarterbacks for Lake Travis, and we thought A&M consolidated with Nate Floyd and Brian Darby at receiver was going to be a problem, and they definitely were in the big school ranks. And then I think in the small school ranks, Sunnyvale had a good year. They don't have any stars, but they had been real good all summer. Thought they'd be really good, and they proved that to be right. And Pleasant Grove, I think they really justified in our eyes why they're such a good team in real football and in 7-on-7. Just because of their ability to make plays and just some of the freak athletes they have at that level. I was super impressed with Poth in Division III. I mean, you look at Poth last year, they went 10-2, lost in the second round of the playoffs to Van Vleck. And I really think this is a team that really made a statement over the weekend and could possibly be putting themselves in the discussion as a real contender in Region 4 and 3A Division II. With that offensive firepower coming back, I think the big key for them in the real football is going to be how their young defensive line develops.
So I kind of want to run through these a couple, because you sent me you mentioned Poth as one of your teams that you're feeling pretty a little bit better about now heading into the fall after seeing them. Are there other teams that you saw out there in College Station at State 7-on-7 that now you're thinking, hey, maybe they have a chance to be a little bit better than we thought? Yeah,
I mean. Dumas in Division II, no real stars on that team, but just a real solid group overall, a lot of experience. I think they've got 15 starters coming back. Last year they won the district title and went 8-3, and just got kind of unlucky and ran into a red-hot Decatur team in the first round of the playoffs that really kind of got their momentum going. So I think Dumas really made an impressive showing for me. I liked Lufkin. I thought Lufkin was really good this weekend. They are really impressive. They lost to Consol by 6 in the second round, but went 4-1 on the weekend. And, we had some questions about Lufkin. I think this was some of their graduation losses. But looking at them, I think they're going to be just fine.
We're talking with Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football High School Football Insider here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. I'm interested. Let me ask you about a small school team first, and then I want to ask you about a big school team. Fall City. Fall City is a team that generally does pretty well in 7-on-7. For a team that runs the ball a fair amount, they seem to be pretty good at 7-on-7. Mixed results, I would say, this year. This is a team that obviously is replacing its quarterback in Keyshawn Johnson. I'm interested kind of in your thoughts on what you saw from the Beavers this weekend.
Started out slow, had some issues in the first game, but I actually talked to Coach Hart early Saturday before their round of 16 game, and he thought once they got past that first game, they kind of, right at the end of that first game, they kind of figured some things out and kind of got it going. And Fall City's going to run the football. We know that. That's what they do in real football. But they are deadly when they throw it, and they're very tough on defense. And I thought they kind of did what they did. I was, for me, Fall City was one of those teams that kind of did exactly as I expected, and their kind of place is holding steady. And I think they validated why they continue to validate why we think so highly of them. Come when the pads come on here in August.
They played in the Division III bracket, so now jump up to the Division I bracket. Southlake Carroll, I know there was a lot of eyes on Quinn Ewers, the new quarterback there at Southlake Carroll. I know he impressed at times. This is a Southlake Carroll team we have pretty high expectations for. I know they always have high expectations. What were your thoughts on the Dragons coming out of the weekend?
Last year Southlake was much more reliant on that big offensive line and the running game. with the McDaniel kid in the backfield. I think this year we're going to see a little more traditional, lack of a better term, Southlake Carroll. I think they're going to be much more pass-oriented this year because of Ewers at quarterback and some of the talents that he brings to the table. And the fact that they're going to be kind of young on the offensive line. So I think they're going to be a little more reliant on the quick passing game. And, the big tight end Smith, great hands. He's a big kid. I mean, I bet he's really good at the point of attack blocking. He's a weapon. And then, R.J. Mickens, obviously, his talent speaks for itself. I know there's a little bit of a downer at the end when Mickens got hurt in the championship game, and there's some questions about how severe that injury is. So hopefully for him and for Southlake's case, he gets back and is back ready to go when the season starts because, he's kind of their real – Smith is a really good tight end, but he's not and I think Max and Ish, and Mike, they probably would agree, he's not really a game breaker. He's not going to stretch the field. He's more of an underneath kind of safety valve guy. And I think Mickens really adds a different dimension to the Southlake offense when he comes in as kind of their deep, big play weapon. I mean, they obviously use him on defense as well, but when he comes in on the offensive side of the ball for those few plays, he really changes the dynamics of that offense. And so if he misses significant time, I think that will definitely hurt them in real football.
So now we're looking, at kind of the other side of it. We go into these things, the state 7-on-7 tournament, with kind of in our brain, we kind of put expectations on there. For example, I thought Crane really, really totally exceeded my expectations. A few other squads like that. Are there any teams that maybe you feel like didn't live up to your expectations? And I'm not going to say that you're going to predict doom and gloom for the fall, but maybe you're a little bit more leery of.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. I was a little disappointed in John Tyler and their performance going 1-4. I thought they would be a little bit better, and that they kind of struggled in a tough pool, but just never really just seemed to get much consistency. Arlington Bowie was kind of the same way for me. Definitely, Bowie. I think I have more concerns about Bowie than John Tyler, just because of how tough Bowie's district is with Lamar and Arlington High right at the top, and we all expect Martin to be a lot better this year. And then you look at Sam Houston, who's got like 19 starters back from a team that was 4-6 last year. So I think Bowie's going to be in a dogfight, I think, for that fourth playoff spot in District 4 6A. In Division 2, I mean, at Stephenville, was another one. They went 1-3 on the weekend. They lost in the first round on Friday to Dumas. Mm-hmm. And I thought the Renfro kid looked good. I mean, he looks the part. I believe he's a North Texas commit, so he looks really good. He's got all the tools. He's that prototype Stephenville quarterback, but I don't know if what they have around him, just from the eyeball test, just didn't look like typical Stephenville, especially on the defensive side. That just didn't seem to get it done, and I just wonder, again, in a really tough district. You got La Vega, China Spring, and Brownwood. I mean, I think Stephenville will still be in the playoffs just because Gatesville obviously is going to be very young, and now they've got to transition with a new quarterback. I still think they'll get fourth place, but I just wonder what they're going to, if they're going to be like a 5-5 team, a 6-4 team, which isn't really what Stephenville expects. They have a high expectation, and that fan base expects big things. And so I know Max has mentioned it a couple of times. I think he's got some concerns about Coach Doty, new coach coming into Stephenville. And I would concur with those concerns. I think they're going to be in for a little bit tougher year.
Finally, it's Matt Stepp at Dave Campbell's Texas Football's High School Football Insider. You're primarily known as a food reporter, and I'm interested in your overall gastronomical takeaways from the week. Did you like that? Gastronomical takeaways. What do you?
Well, I would say that our dinner choice on Wednesday night was outstanding, and then that's courtesy of Max Snacks Thompson with the huge win on 3rd and Main. Downtown Bryan is excellent, by the way. We are now stands of Downtown Bryan. It definitely was a unique, different change of pace for us, being in the usual college town chain restaurant hell that sometimes College Station can be. Let's just keep it real. Mm-hmm. But so that was really good. Other than that, I really didn't get a chance to sample much of the fare. We ordered in, as we said on Tep and Step, Thursday and Friday are just ridiculous to try to get into restaurants. And so we ordered in, but the food was excellent. Good choices by all. And then the hotel breakfast at our hotel was choice as well. So that was fun.
He's Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, High School Football Insider. Follow him on Twitter at Matt_Stepp, put 817, and of course he has fine work at TexasFootball.com. Stepp, appreciate your time, and I don't know, I'll talk to you at some point.